Now let's talk about the population pyramids, which you should see something that looks similar to this once you click on that link. And the first thing you'll notice, if you just scroll, look at these population pyramids. I mean, look at the variety of shapes. And they're not all perfect on both sides. I mean, you got some situations like this one where it almost looks like a Hershey's Kiss kind of a shape. Whereas then you have other countries, you have this kind of odd deal. It's all of a sudden sticks out there, big stick out bulge there. Then this inward shape here. Look at Japan, how it's coming inward, and we have this kind of wonky thing there. We got more males over here. Look at Kuwait. Look at all those extra males versus females. Versus over here, look at Latvia. How there's fewer males in this upper age groups. And so essentially what we have is these population periods. We kind of can understand what's going on in a country demographically just by looking at their shape. So let's go look at our particular countries of interest. So you'll do the same. Type in your particular country. Once again, I'm going to use Kenya in Japan. So here's Kenya, the 2023 pyramid. So its shape is very much pyramidal, and then it has this increase, and then it kind of has this stabilization, almost this situation where it looks like it's like a rectangular base, where previously we had a kind of more of a triangle base. So let's talk about what are we looking at here. So a population pyramid shows the structure of a country, so the demographic. And so you can see here a lot of young people. And so this is going from 0 to 4 years old all the way up. And we traditionally think of young people being, because of this, how these numbers are crunched, 14 and under. So 14 and under, you could also say 19 and under, but 14 and under for the most part, it would be ideal if we could do 18, but we'll just put 14 and under would be young people, and then working age would essentially be all this through up until about 65, and then above that would be then your retired or elderly population, so your old age population. So old age, productive age, young age. And so when we look at a population structure, we can see that. This, in case of Kenya, a very young population. Further, when we look at the blue and the pink, that's showing males and females. And so we can also see, for the most part, it looks like, look at that number, 3 million, so we're pretty even. I mean, this is a situation, this is not a country in which we have much of a sex ratio imbalance. You can't see it. I mean, it looks pretty even all the way up on both sides. And so we can also see the gender characteristics as well in terms of the population structure. Now I've added Japan, and you can see the comparisons. They're dramatic. I mean, we're up in the case of Japan, it's more of a kind of a top-heavy pyramid, whereas it's more bottom-heavy here in the case of Kenya. And so now we can see sex ratio imbalance for sure. Definitely in older females are outliving older males, but still a relatively old population. That's a lot of people that reach their 80s and 90s. So we see kind of an increase here. So it may be a boom in the population followed by a quiet period. And so you could say this has been when development occurred. And so when you have this change coming inward, typically it means what's happening is this country's gone from stage 2 to stage 3 to stage 4. So stage 2, stage 3, and now we're seeing stage 4. That inward shape is very characteristic of stage 4 countries. Whereas here, pyramid shape, characteristic of stage 2 countries, and when we have more of a rectangular, now we have more of those newly industrializing or those stage 3 countries that I've referenced before. And so in the case of Japan, they went through the stage 3, they went through that industrializing phase, would say 40 to 50 years prior. So in the 1970s and 80s, and you can just imagine how that's, think about 65 to 70, so just imagine 40 years ago, these were people that were then working. Then another thing you see is the echo boom. So you see a large increase in the population as boom, and then quiet period, and essentially it's this population here having their children, and so it's called an echo boom. So in the case of the United States, we've had a series of echo booms since the baby boom population.